make us proud. CanesWear crew, you hear the crowd. Hurricanes ain't backing down. Every play, every score, raising bets and raising roar. Rocking orange, green galore. All for one and one for four. We got FTSN, taking names, winning again. Podcast fam, till the end. Tune in, now let's begin.
Welcome to the CanesWear podcast on the Thursday night edition, and amazingly, the eve before the big game, before the Louisville game. And first of all, I want to say, Gio has been ready to go for at least 30 minutes. It was all Brett this time. Gio is 100% ready. He's sharp. He looks like his first day of school out there, the way I look at him right now. It was Brett. Brett was working late, and the store was a little busy, and couldn't. I know there was a couple other podcasts and different streams going on that I couldn't be on, but it was the store actually had some action because it's Thursday night, so it was all my bad, and I had to come home and wolf down 2 sandwiches. So, but we are here now, Brett and Gio, and Gio, we are excited about tomorrow, aren't we?
Absolutely, it's Friday night game. Finally back with some Canes football now with these really weird bye-week stretches, having a game sandwiched on the road in between. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, if you're a Miami fan, anyone who's listening right now, you got 7 straight weeks of Canes football. 7 straight weeks, potentially 8, if the ACC championship, if you will. And then you have signing day coming up on December 3rd, that week of the conference championships. All these kids are going to be making their decision, well, at least their final decision, or these days you never know because sometimes they even still hit the portal anyways. But on December 3rd, you'll have the early signing day period opening up on that Wednesday into Friday, and then you have the conference championship weekend that first week of December. So it's going to be back to back to back every week now, no break in between. I think it's going to be a test for Miami as well in terms of their depth on the roster this year. No breaks on the road ahead.
No, it sounds like it's going to be a very, very busy schedule. Before we go on, I want to say that you're on the Fins Talk Sports Network, FTSN. Please like and subscribe. Bobby and the team do a fantastic job of putting all the great content out there every day, every week. And also, of course, we're sponsored by CanesWear, the spot South Florida and all Miami fans shop, and we're all excited. We got lots of new stuff coming every day. We got some new state champ shirts, some Canes country shirts. We run the state shirts. Lots of good stuff happening right now. Tomorrow will be a great day in the store. And Saturday, Gio, we have a couple of older Canes. Kenny Calhoun, the legend himself, who literally, basically, and figuratively, single-handedly knocked the ball away to win the game against Nebraska. I thought of that one as the quiet. I don't want to say anyone single-handedly. This is all about team, but he did tip the ball away. And I think it was on State of the Union a few years ago, they voted that the number 1 play in Canes history. Because without that play, who knows what would have happened to Canes football.
I think it launched everything for the program from that point on.
Exactly. We also have number 36, Benny Blades, one of my all-time favorite players. Won the 87 championship, won the Jim Thorpe Award, played safety like a linebacker, was the number 3 pick in the draft by the Detroit Lions. I think he still is the second most tackles for Detroit Lions. So he had a good 10-year career. So we have Kenny and Benny will be at the store from 1 to 2:30. You can get a ticket online or in the store. It's $29. I think you get an autograph for each of them for that 1 ticket. And if you want to, we'll have pictures you can have signed included in there, or you can have your own thing signed. So we're really excited about that, having those guys. They've been in the store before, great guys, like a lot of Canes. I shouldn't say old, because these guys are younger than, they're about my age. And I'd say that, just great guys. You meet a lot of Canes that went through the program, Gio, and they're all great guys. I mean, just great people.
Absolutely. And you even mentioned Benny Blades there. I think the craziest thing of it all, Miami's first and only Thorpe Award winner. You could speak about the arguments that could definitely be made for guys like Ed Reed and Sean Taylor, the way they capped off their careers at Miami. But He is the first and only Thorpe Award winner that Miami has.
And he was probably drafted. I don't remember. Ed was drafted, I think, mid first round, correct, or late first round. I mean,
late first round, yes.
So Sean was drafted, I think, high, but I think he was like was he 7 or 8? I don't remember, but he was.
I'd have to check exactly, but
Benny was right. Benny for a defense for a safety to be drafted number 3 in the draft, 3 in the draft was pretty phenomenal. And I think he had the Canes record for a long time in tackles, intercept. I mean, he got, just like Sean Taylor, he had 10 interceptions one year. I mean, he was a beast. And if you haven't seen a lot of him, I know most of our great fans have, but go check out some of his highlights. The guy was just a beast. Those Jimmy Johnson teams were phenomenal. 86, 87, 88, 89. So we're excited to have them in the store on Saturday. Join us if you can. And we're just excited right now. We are we're about 22 hours away from Louisville. So we're going to talk about the show. Bring your questions, bring your comments, and we will try to get to every one of them. We're going to try to finish this before midnight. And since it is game day tomorrow. So what do you got to talk about, Gio, about this game coming up? Your first thoughts about the game?
Quick thoughts off the hoop. Think Louisville, a lot of questions on their offensive line. Miller Moss is not the same type of athlete that Miami has faced with recent quarterbacks in terms of Tommy Castellanos, DJ Lagway, and even Byron Brown from USF. Not exactly as mobile as those guys. And then you throw in the equation of the struggles Louisville's had up front on their offensive line in terms of protecting the quarterback. They are one of the 3 worst teams in the ACC in terms of giving up pressures and sacks. So you look towards guys like Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, Ahmad Moten, Marquise Lightfoot, Armando Blunt, all these guys that are on this year's defensive line, like that main unit. This could be a game where they may pad up the stats if the opportunity presents itself. Now, a lot of what Louisville does is behind the running back with Isaac Brown, South Florida native who played down here in Homestead. Should have been a Hurricane, but that's a whole other story in itself. A former coach made a decision there to not take him. So that's another story, but dynamic athlete himself, one of the better running backs in the entire country. It's a home run threat. I think Miami obviously has to play disciplined defense. I think this is a game that will challenge the linebackers in terms of eye discipline as well, facing a running back like that coming out of the backfield. And then the other thing that I'll mention too, they have 2 receivers that are very talented, Bell and Lacey. Miami will have to match up with those guys, and I think they'll be fine. I think Miami has the athletes in the secondary to match up. Bell more of a physical presence, basically Louisville's number 1 guy in the pass game this year. So some challenges present themselves, but I think Miami matches up very well in this game. And I think just offensively too, Louisville not so great up front on the defensive line. They're a little bit undersized as well. They're missing one of their key players on defense majority of this season. It's Danquan Clark, who played his football down here at Miami Killian and Miami Central his senior year. And they have athletes in the secondary, but I have a lot of question marks about their defense overall from what I've watched. Had plenty of time to go over it through the bye week, watch the tape and what they've shown on the field this year. I have Miami winning 37-13 tomorrow night. I think this is a game that Miami handles very well. I also think this will be the game that Miami will answer the call of what the fans have complained about, at least about a full game from the first, the second, third, and fourth quarter. I do think they will answer the call on that on Friday night. So
this team, you're saying, is not – we've played a lot of mobile quarterbacks. Castellano, Brown, even the quarterback of Notre Dame was mobile.
Carr, yes, absolutely.
So Carr was mobile, obviously. So pretty much everybody we played has been mobile. I mean, outside of the Bethune-Cookman, he was probably mobile too. So this guy is more of a traditional pocket passer that doesn't have a lot of mobility, is what you're saying, or just can't run like the other guys?
He just can't run like the other guys. I watched plenty of Miller Moss when he was at USC before he transferred to Louisville this year. I also don't think he's as good as the quarterback they had last year. I think Tyler Shuff was much better than what Miller Moss is.
Is he Brad Kaya on his feet? He can't really. He can maybe, but he's not going to run the ball ever.
No, I wouldn't say that he's not capable of taking off with the ball, but just from the standpoint of finishing plays, like finishing sacks, like yes, pressures are great, but you want to bring the quarterback down at the same time. I think you could see more of that from Miami in this game. I actually set a bar when I spoke about it with Michael Yo this week. I told him I think I could see Miami getting 7 sacks in this game.
How many?
7.
Well, that would be good because, they've got Ruben as a possible Heisman candidate, but I look at it, it's going to be difficult for him with 2 sacks. He's going to have to pack that sack stat. And he's going to have to get to at least 10, in my opinion, to have a chance at that. He can still be the first round number 1 because they obviously can see behind the scenes, but I think he's going to need some sacks to win that. So hopefully he can get a few this game and get right up there in the count.
Absolutely.
So, all right. So we'll get to some of the comments and questions. And Mando had some things tonight. So I don't know if he's going to be on the show. But Juan Manuel, thank you for joining us. Gio, Brett, and Mando. Los Tres Amigos is you like that accent? I hope is Dylan Russell, Pringle, and Cole Mack, number 44, cleared to practice. Could Abello Danger be a recruiting closer for Miami?
Well, I can't answer that last question, but on those 3 players you mentioned, McConaughey's much closer to returning. Dylan Russell, pretty close to it as well. In terms of Pringle, he was in the arm sling shortly after the USF game. So not entirely sure what's going on there. I'll try to give you an update best as possible from what I see with my own eyes on Friday night and just what the prognosis is there.
Awesome. Juan Manuel again. Is Miami going to pimp rich parents for the NIL contributions? We know we have Jeff Bezos. We know we have Dana White now, who says he's looking at possibly giving to the NIL. I'm sure he will. He just got how many billions of dollars on the sale? We all should be so lucky. Miami had a chance when the owner of FedEx Kids, Smith, was a quarterback here. So maybe Miami needs pointers from Miss Hudson. Okay. So
Brett, I'll actually tell you a little story about that, what he mentioned about Smith. So once upon a time, back in the 2008 recruiting class, when Randy Shannon signed Ja'Cory Harris, there was also 2 other quarterbacks that were signed. There was Taylor Cook, the kid from Texas, who he was a 6'7" quarterback that he was capable of playing quarterback, tight end, and he also punted a little bit too. But then the other kid, I think he's from Tennessee, actually, around that area, was Cannon Smith. His father, I don't know if it still stands the same, but his father was, I believe he was like CEO or pretty close to it in terms of the entire organization of FedEx. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know that, or maybe I did, but Miami definitely has a lot of very powerful people on campus right now, or kids and grandkids of powerful people, I should say.
Yeah.
What's up, New King God? Thanks for joining the show. Let's see. Jake, fastly strolling in. Yes, we are. So Jake mentioned something earlier, some question before I read. I can't see it now, but there was a comment he made before that was excellent, but I don't see it now on the screen. Gilbert, great joining the show. Thank you. Waiting for the beatdown mañana. So he's feeling what you're feeling here, Gio.
I don't think Louisville matches up very well with Miami.
I like to hear, but I did not scout them as much. I knew you were out there, watching the Louisville practices with the binoculars. So I know you caught some of that. Just joking if anybody's listening from the other side. But yeah, so no, I'm glad to know because I'd like to see finally a game that we can. I mean, listen, we could have had Castellanos so many times. I mean, you got to give our defensive ends and defensive line just total credit. They were he was running for his life. It was like a lion. It was like someone in a lion's den in that game. I've not seen a pass rush that good, and I mean, to his credit, he didn't. He was excellent in the fourth quarter, avoiding them.
Yeah.
So let's see. All right. So let's see. We got a few of those. I'm not sure. Okay. Canes says Kenton Dobson is a. Who is Kenton Dobson?
Hold on a second. Let's see here.
Welcome
Trying
to
to
the show,
catch up
Canes.
on these questions. Jake said it's about time for guys to flex a little and set the tone for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
Gilbert Reyes mentioned earlier. Gio's still working off the picadillo he was eating earlier. Hey, Gilbert. So you were watching with me and Michael Yo earlier this
awesome.
afternoon. Yeah, we were on earlier today, and so I've had my mother-in-law in town, and she made some picadillo today. So you had to get it. You have to get that when it's ready and hot. You know, it's one of those things like that. So I took advantage.
So I went to La Bamba with the wife a couple of nights ago and had some of the Cuban shrimp scampi, and it was delicious. The way they made that with the rice and the beans, and it was fantastic. They make an awesome shrimp scampi, totally different than you get in an Italian restaurant.
Brett, I got a great spot for you. I'll tell you about. It's in Miami Lakes. It's called Latin American Grill.
Latin American Grill. All right.
Yes, I'm Cuban. I've had plenty of Cuban food in my life.
Mm-hmm.
At least right now, they are the best and most consistent that I've been to in the past year or so. Yes.
All right. Just a little south of Pembroke Pines, and I'm there, right?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Gilbert Reyes, what a game. If we could see JoJo go out and stretch out the field for a TB with a celebration. So a lot of fans want to see JoJo out there. I mean, I think out of everybody that's not playing, I think the main person they want to see is JoJo. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Everyone's been asking about it week in, week out. It's been discussed over and over, the situation. From my understanding, he's done what he's needed to do to get on the field, get back in the rotation, to be able to play. People have heard the comments that have come from not only Mario Cristobal, but now even Shannon Dawson, and what he described about with JoJo Trader. I would be surprised if you don't see him in the game at some point on Friday night. I would be surprised by it. You and me have both discussed this, Brett, that I think you see that receiver rotation open up a little bit after guys like Malachi Tony and CJ Daniels, because I still think Miami hasn't established exactly just yet who is their true third receiver in this offense.
No, we definitely, we're getting away with it, but we definitely need another receiver to step up. I mean, if it's JoJo, if it's Joshua Moore, I don't know if Ray is going to get an opportunity at all. If it's Lofton, becomes a key threat. I mean, he shows. I mean, why can't he catch 6, 7, 8 catches a game? Obviously, they did it with. It's not the same offensive game plan, but Beck obviously accomplished that with Bowers, who was hitting him all the time. I mean, I think the way he throws that ball, Beck, I think a tight end would be perfect over the middle and the side, because he has just such a soft touch. Speaking of that, how would you compare Beck's touch to others? Those long passes were still gems, I thought, against Florida State. Every single one of those guys was running full stride. It just may have been the game. He finally had a ball that was dry. How would you compare the way he's throwing it versus maybe past Hurricane quarterbacks?
At least in recent time, I don't want to say he's 1-to-1 with 1-for-1 with Brad Kaya, like exact players. I think Beck's definitely quite a bit more mobile than what Kaya was. I do think in terms of like the deep ball, it kind of reminds me of that. I think Cam Ward had a little more zip on the ball, just the quick release and the way it would come out. But yeah, at least in terms of accuracy and how that ball comes out and how he lays it out for his receiver, reminds me a little bit of Brad Kaya with a deep ball.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Too bad Brad Kaya couldn't run that RPO that Rick had. That team would have been a lot better that year if he could hang on to the ball sometimes. This is the comment I was looking for before. Jake, honestly, as long as we keep winning, I don't care who's on the field, but having Trader out there would help with depth. And I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Listen, just win. Whoever gets you there, win. I don't care if it's 5 different guys a game that bring you it. It doesn't have to be the same guy. We want to see all of our favorites do it, but they're all Canes, and we want to see them all go ahead and do well. It doesn't have to be every game.
Yeah,
as long as somebody steps up.
And I have a translation for you here, Brett. Gilbert Reyes said, "Diablo, ¿por qué se está tirando peos?" Laugh out loud. So what that means in English, he said, like damn, or the devil, why are they throwing farts?
Okay. All righty. So that's, I would have never knew that. So that's peos is that last word, the farts?
What it's, I was about to speak to you in Spanish actually, but really the way you spell it is P-E-D-O-S.
Pedos.
Yeah.
It's even scarier.
Pedos.
Pedos. Okay.
Tirar un pedo.
Okay, pedos. I'll remember that when someone says it. I'll say it wasn't me. Canes, I'm done celebrating commitments from high school recruits just to clout chase and turn around and commit. Total waste of time and mental energy to give them until they sign on the dotted line.
He's got a point.
Your business has always been recruiting. How do you feel about that, Gio?
He's got a point. There's plenty of movement all the time in recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, coaches do change their opinions. They drop guys. Their evaluations change. They may come back to recruit a guy that they may have stopped recruiting at one point and then they change their mind afterwards. Or it also happens in the sense of a kid they may have deemed not a take at one point, all of a sudden becomes a take. Like it's just an ever evolving thing. So I agree with him on the aspect of that. Sometimes some of these kids will commit to a program and they don't even end up with that program at the end of the day. So it's funny because if you look up the definition of commitment, it's basically like giving your word that you're going to do something. But, is it really commitment anymore? Or I think maybe the term should be rephrased that, this is my favorite or this is where I'm leaning instead of commitment. But again, it is what it is. And at the end of the day, he's absolutely right what he says. Like, I know people love following recruitment and whatnot, but it's not worth it to get stressed over things that happen along the way until signing day. I've seen scenarios where kids were almost destined to go to another school and they've ended up with Miami, or kids that for a long time were leaning towards Miami and they've gone to another school. It's happened several times.
There's an old saying when my kids went to school, and I'm sure everybody says it now, you get what you get and you don't get upset. And that's it. We get who we get, and we can't get upset. I mean, there's nothing we can do as fans.
I think this is also what happens too, Brett. I remember catching a little bit of flack for this last year in December when I said that I felt that the most recent recruiting class, which has guys like Bryce Fitzgerald and Malachi Toney making game-changing plays for the team this year. Mm-hmm. I said at the time when they signed it that I felt it was Mario Cristobal's most quality recruiting class. That it wasn't a large amount of guys in the class, but the type of guys that they got were great players. And even, I try not to look too much into the star ranking either. Like, obviously, it's a great thing. People say, 5-star, 4-star, this or that. Malachi Toney was ranked a 3-star by several recruiting sites. And the reality is about that, if you watch football down here in South Florida, you knew that wasn't the case, that he was no 3-star talent. That's insane. But to my point here, though, I think fans get caught up in the rankings a little too much at times and say, we weren't top 10 last year in recruiting. Off the average star ranking, like what Miami signed, the average ranking, it was the best one that Mario Cristobal has had since he's arrived. Mm-hmm. And I only expect that to continue to improve. And we've talked about this, Brett, that, where is Miami in terms of their tier in recruiting them? I've said that I feel like they're a tier 2 team in recruiting that, that range between 5 to 10 in recruiting, like where they would possibly land in rankings if, they took 27, 28 kids in a class. and with the possibility that they could move up with success in the postseason. I've seen it happen with Notre Dame, coming off of playing in a national championship. They're getting more kids than ever before in the past.
No, I mean, you just look at how it changes recruiting. I mean, last year we had a guy quarterbacking who was supposedly a 0-star, correct?
Yeah, he was a 0-star coming out of high school.
I don't even know how you were a 0-star. How come you can't even have 1 star? You think if you have an arm at all and you can complete a pass, you got 1 star. But you're a 0-star, which meant nobody looked at him, right?
Yeah.
And then we had the guy this year, and he was legendary in high school, correct? Carson Beck?
Yes, Carson Beck. He won a state championship, played for Mandarin High School in Jacksonville.
Was he the number 1 recruit in all of in college? Or not coming out of high school?
No, he wasn't that, but he was one of the top overall quarterbacks.
Okay.
He was also once committed to Florida for baseball, former third baseman and all.
So quite the athlete. So you've got So we had Ward, which people were happy to get when we got him, but he wasn't our first choice, I think. Maybe he was, but I think they were looking at someone else last year too, weren't they?
Aside from Ward, they were looking at Will Howard as well, who played for.
And then this year, everybody wanted Mateer, correct, for Oklahoma?
Yes.
And Beckett was like, yeah, we got him. We were excited, but there were fans that weren't that excited. And we obviously know that nationally they thought, big deal, you got Carson. Who was that? Was he a 5-star?
Who? Beck out of high school?
Yeah,
no. He was a high 4-star.
A high 4. All right. So in this year, everyone's down on him. So it proves that doesn't matter what the star is, how they're going to be looked at after the first year of football. That's how they're going to be judged. So the point is that the star system doesn't. We've had other 5-stars. We had that other 5-star wide receiver. I forgot his name a few years ago. Nice kid. I think did he transfer to Alabama also or somewhere like that? About 5 years.
You're talking about the kid Mark Pope.
Yes, Mark Pope.
Yeah, he ended up transferring out, going to Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, and he was a 5-star for us. Obviously, JoJo's a 5-star. So when guys are 5 stars, everybody that gives these kids so much more pressure too.
Yeah, that and I think one other thing I believe that fans sometimes overlook that some players develop at different rates because I think the perfect example. Look at how well Samson Okunlola's played this year. And all you ever heard for years, at least from the fans' perspective, they said, oh, well, maybe he's a bust, or maybe he's that, or maybe he's that. And again, year 3, I've always said this, people can attest for this if they've listened to me, that I believe that I think it's fair to give a kid 3 years in a program to really know what he is before you start determining, oh, is he a bust, or is he just a guy, or this or that? I think Samson Okunlola has played really well for Miami.
Yes, he has.
Several times he's graded out as one of their best, and whether it's against pass rush or even in the run game as well.
No doubt about it. I mean, guys sometimes shine. It takes a while. The NFL too. After they've gone through the whole high school, they've gone through the college, and now it takes sometimes a few years to develop in the NFL too. It's like each level, as the funnel gets smaller to go through, it gets tougher, and they have to learn again. And the great ones or the good players will definitely learn. Like Cam Ward's having some difficulty now. They fired the coach. Some people I know are saying he's a bust. I'm saying, are you kidding? After 5 games, after 6 games, that's terrible. But
too early to say.
People will judge people so fast.
Too early to say that he's a bust because what I'll mention about Cam Ward in that tight end situation, because I've watched quite a bit of the NFL this year in several games. I have the NFL pass, whatever, to watch all the games. With that Titans team, they have a lot of problems up front with the offensive line, number one. Number two, they have receivers dropping passes. Even Calvin Ridley, who's made plays, he has cases of the dropsies at times too. He needs more help there. And they just fired their head coach too, which most people expected for that to be coming because he didn't even have much success even before Cam arrived there.
His play calling was pathetic, I thought. Too bad they didn't have a guy in the practice squad that knows Cam's game and knows how to get open, and will catch pretty much 99.9% of Cam's passes. Too bad there wasn't a former number 7 who's now 87 on the practice squad. That's
Yeah.
To the Tennessee. When is this kid going to, it's like, hey, if that makes Cam a little happier, go with it. Doesn't make any sense. Juan Manuel, truth be told, Miami needs JoJo or Joshua to contribute substantially if they want to go to another level. It is not a luxury to have those two receivers contributing.
I agree. Whether it's one of those two, whether it's Keelan Marion, I think realistically, it's one out of those three guys will eventually emerge, whether it's between this game or the next couple games. I do think Miami does need to establish who's that third guy amongst the receivers, aside from the tight end situation. I think Elijah Lofton's going to be fine. I think Elijah Lofton is going to continue to be productive in the second half of the season. You started to see it the last couple games. I think starting to get a little comfortable between him and Beck. And then also he was dealing with an injury coming out of fall camp into the season. Now he's good.
Well, this long 1 game in 20 days has been a blessing for a lot of these players to heal. Of course, now we're going to have to go through a gauntlet, but luckily, amazingly, 4 out of the next 5 games are at home. We've already played 4 home games, and now 4 out of the next 5 are home. It's kind of crazy, the schedule.
It's favorable for Miami, though. I'll tell you this, Brett. Miami has. Last time I checked, I'll check again after this game on Friday, but Miami has the 3rd or 4th best active home game winning streak right now in college football. They've won 10 consecutive games at home.
No, it's when we started the season, we were 6-0. I said, okay, let's just keep winning. You know what? Now that we've got other teams lose, it's like, hey, 58 is going to be difficult, but we you know what? People are calling it the asylum. I don't know how I like that name, but the asylum. It is the fan. We want to make this place as hostile as possible for enemy opponents. That would be a great feeling again, to be able to do that. And we do. That's why I always say our 12th man. I know they said it at Texas A&M, wherever they say it. We can actually do something. You can't change anything on X. You can't change anything on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There's nothing you can do. But when you're at the stadium, every voice counts.
Absolutely.
And it's exciting as can be when everybody, Jeff, my store manager, he's always banging the chair when it's third down. The people behind us are in the club. We're in the last row of 130. He's like, everybody, and people just sitting there. It's like, okay, are we at a game? Is this a movie? Is this a baseball game? What's going on here? It's kind of scary. 1 milligram of epinephrine, my favorite name. Welcome to the show. They could use a reliable outside receiver, but Dawson's offense is based much more on the slot receivers on tight ends.
He is correct about that, especially the slot receiver position. But yeah, I still stand on it though that I do think they need one more guy in that receiver room to elevate just a little bit more.
All right, Rob Dukes, longtime customer from the warehouse days, new to the show. Welcome, Rob. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Juan Manuel, next week is a scrimmage. Stanford is the scout team. I don't want to.
Yes, Stanford's one of the more worst teams in the country, but I'll share this because I was just talking about this today. Canes Jones invited me out to the space that he has every week before each game. Talked there with a couple other people. Hundreds of fans were in there listening. And I think I've said this here before too, that I believe college football is a week-to-week business. And no matter who you play, how bad they are, how good they are, anyone can beat you if you do not come prepared. Because I look at the situation of Alabama this year. Look at Alabama this season. They lose to Florida State to open the season. Everyone says, oh, Florida State looks amazing, this and that, and all the hype and everything. We fast forward 6-7 weeks later, and Florida State is sitting at 500 ball right now. They've lost 3 consecutive games. There's questions from their fans and boosters on whether or not to fire Mike Norvell. Then I go back to last year, situation of Ohio State. Ohio State ended up winning the national championship, but they had 2 losses along the way during the season. And I'll remind people of this. They lost to Oregon in the regular season. People forget about that. They lost to Oregon.
Forgot about that. They lost to Oregon and then Michigan.
They did beat Oregon during their playoff run, like a drum, night and day compared to the regular season performance. But losing that game to Michigan, that wasn't a good Michigan team. They had a good defense, but it was not a good Michigan team by any means compared to what their standard is and the type of team they want to field every season. It wasn't like that by any measure. So, or last year, Notre Dame, who was in the national championship game, they lost to Northern Illinois early on. I think they lost to them 20-14. So it was something to that tune early on last season. So anyone can beat you if you do not come prepared, no matter if it's a bad team or a good team coming into that game.
Correct.
Because you look at Alabama right now, you can make an argument they may be a top 5 team right now.
Definitely.
Which, by the way, I'll mention, Brett, there's one thing I've been incorrect about this season, and I'm going to give one team their flowers. I said I thought that Oregon was going to beat Indiana like a drum. I was wrong. I was wrong, and I'm here to say it that I was wrong. I'll admit it when I'm wrong, and Indiana can compete with plenty of teams. They showed it, especially with their defense. That was one of my biggest questions with them going into that game, and they proved it that they have it on both sides of the ball.
No, you're right, and they are. They squashed a decent Illinois team, and they went ahead and it's funny because I think Ohio State plays Indiana almost every year, and they don't play them this year. I mean, they could play in the Big Ten championship, but the point is that they are playing very well. The Big Ten teams are playing well, so it's. I was surprised, and because I know Gio, I said I got on my score. Gio says are not very good, so nobody look out for anything, and here they are playing well.
Yeah, no, I'll give them their props. That is one that I have come away incorrect with this year.
I think their coach just got a huge extension.
Massive one.
Yes.
It's going to be making just around the ballpark of $11.5 million per year.
The amount of money they make now is so crazy.
Yeah.
$11.5 million.
Extended up to 2033 as well. I believe Signetti's in his 60s, so this may be his lifetime contract. He'll probably retire somewhere in his 70s from the game and ride off into the sunset.
We've seen a lot of guys sign for a lot of money, and then a year later they're buying out their contracts. So hopefully that's the case. Not the case. I have no problems with Indiana unless we play them in the playoffs. Right now, I have no problems about Indiana. We want to face them for the champion. As long as we beat them, I got no problems with them. Let's see. Blue, welcome to the show. I'm flying down to Miami tomorrow morning. Let's pack the rock. Absolutely, Blue. Welcome to South Florida. Jake, welcoming aboard Robbie. Thank you, Jake, for giving the helping hand there. Gilbert, close to flying also. Everybody's coming down. I love it. Rob, need to get me we want the smoke shirt. Yeah, we do need to get those shirts since CanesWear. I don't know. We spoke about it. You selling them anywhere yet, Gio?
No, not yet, but I do have the logos for them.
Yeah, I think you sent it to me. So right? So we got to get those.
I got to double check. Yeah,
I don't know if you did or not, but yeah, we'd like to be part of that. So it is a beautiful logo, and it's awesome. Let's see, 25K, and welcome to the show. Do you have any breast cancer awareness Hurricanes merch at CanesWear? We have a white shirt that says a couple of breast cancer shirts we have. They are white with pink writing from Adidas. They are performance. They are cool. We've sold a lot. We have pink hats with the U. We also have a pink CanesWear towel that has the ribbon. That's $5, and 100% of that purchase price goes to the Dolphins Challenge Cancer. It's a nice towel, and but you can wave it at the game, and 100% of that purchase goes to the $5 goes to Dolphin Challenge Cancer, which CanesWear has a team we're a part of. So come to the store. We do have some things, and you can check them out at CanesWear.com as well. Juan Manuel, next week is a break. He's all over the Stanford thing. Stanford is a glorified scrimmage. We are at home and could be most of our backups, the rest of stars. Gio and I agree. We hope so.
I certainly hope so, but as Mario Cristobal has said, and some people joke about it when he says this, that every game's a playoff game. It absolutely is.
He's had battles with Stanford. When he was at Oregon, he did not. And Stanford was not that good, and he had some battles with Stanford.
Yeah,
both Stanford and Cal. I remember watching the games and saying, this guy can't coach. I know what a lot of people are saying. I was right. But give Mara the benefit of the doubt. Once he wins a championship, I'm going to feel so good for him. I'm going to feel good, so good for us Canes fans and CanesWear. Well, I'll feel so good for Mario too. Raymond Rodriguez, my weekly question. Update on the new fitted hats, please. We still don't have them, Raymond. We do have the order in with New Era, and hopefully we'll have them shortly. Did just get a lot of new cool things in, but we did not get those hats yet. But hopefully they will. We did place the order, but they have not shipped to us yet. B Rabbit, welcome to the show. Appreciate the time you take out of your days to do these podcasts, Gio.
Of course, anytime. Actually, I'd like to continue doing more. As opportunities present, you'll probably see more.
Gio is everywhere. I may pay for him to be on a bus. So when you're sitting there, you're having your coffee at 8th Street or somewhere like that, at Cayocho or wherever, you see the bus go by, and that's Gio. Right size Gio at Times Square, maybe, if we win the national championship. Let's see. Rob Dukes, no Duke Watson tomorrow?
Yeah, so that's the other running back for Louisville. Well, they have Kewan Brown as well, but Duke Watson last year. I know everyone talks about Isaac Brown, but Duke Watson had a really good freshman season last year. Along with Isaac Brown, he was averaging like 7.5, almost 8 yards per carry. Watson last season, so he's been hurt most of this year. He is out for this game, so that is a significant loss for them. Louisville is missing quite a few key guys coming into this game.
Awesome. Let's see. Gilbert with a little bit of translation needed.
Acabó el pan at Hard Rock tomorrow. The bread has finished at Hard Rock tomorrow.
All righty. I like the way that sounds. Pack the rock, make it loud. That's a shirt I need. Pack the rock. I mean, just everyone saying pack the rock. I mean, I say go Canes to everybody after my welcome to CanesWear, but pack the rock, I think, is what we should be saying. Hey, Brett, do you have the Ed Reed jersey with the hoodie? Miss Hudson thinks I look young and gangster. Imagine me, Bill Belichick, looking gangster. We have the Ed Reed jersey, some left, but not the hoodie. But we do have a cool number 1 hoodie.
I got a good thing for Juan Manuel, actually. So I believe this guy's show is called Pablo Torres Finds Out. And there's a recent report that came from him, and there's going to be the revelation about this in a few days. It has to do with the GM at North Carolina and Michael Lombardi. And basically, the story behind it is he took off X amount of time away from the program and was in like Saudi Arabia or some crazy story that's going to be coming out that Pablo's going to be explaining soon. So I highly suggest checking that out when it does drop.
All righty. Great news, Gio. Duck is in the house.
Duck. I absolutely love Duck. Better Duck. What's up, my man?
Better Duck. Let's just get to the question right now, since Duck is
He's gonna ask, will Miami be able to run on early downs? And I'm here to answer again, yes, they will. And actually, Duck, you know what? Florida State, they sold out to stop the run, and Miami punished them with a passing game. Miami's a pick your poison team this year. Miami tried to run early. Florida State kept on trying to crowd the box. Carson Beck and Shannon Dawson said, okay, well, bombs away. And there you have it.
Great analogy. Do you feel we went for 91 yards last game?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's not so much anything wrong that Miami was doing. It's just Florida State, they just sold out to stop the run. And
we took what they gave us, which is great that you have the opportunity. How many times have we seen a team stack the line and we can't throw? Or drop back and we can't run. We've seen it over and over and over again. So we show we're definitely a multi-dimensional monster of an offense. Do you think we're going to try to go ahead now and because of getting 91 yards, we're going to show teams, hey, we can run the ball at will whenever we want to and try to rack up like 200 yards?
I think they'll just go with like the flow of the game at whatever the opposing side is willing to give up, or if they stay within base and don't crowd, then if you asked me if how you would want to try to defend Miami, be balanced. You cannot go too deeply onto one end because they're going to hurt you on the other. The Miami has a run game, and Miami can throw the ball. They can do both this year.
And that's the first time we could say that in a long time. Rob Duke's not a fan of this game being on Friday. It's kind of a nice change, but I agree. I like Saturdays as well. We need to set the tone early and jump on Louisville. I agree on that. I think we've done that every game pretty much. First game we've been behind is Florida State, right? We were down 3-0, but then we came back to get 28 unanswered points.
Yeah, that was the first time Miami trailed all season.
New King God, I have confidence. Even if Brahm does find a weakness, that we will make adjustments. Plus, we will have an older team.
He's correct about that. Miami has veterans. They have a nice mix of veterans and young talent on their roster.
The guy we just lost to commit to North Carolina, wide receiver commit. Was he a 3 or 4 star?
He was a 4-star. He just reclassified down from 2027 to 2026.
Do you think, and now he's going to North Carolina of all places, right?
Correct.
So do you think he sees Malachi Toney? He saw Joshua Moore. These are freshmen. He sees things and he says, wait a second. These guys are first-year players. What chance am I going to have? And he wanted more opportunity, or think they just gave him a lot more money?
Some of it was NIL there. Some of it was also the opportunity that's presented at North Carolina. You know, he could walk right into North Carolina and potentially start or play right away from them. They're very depleted. They need a lot of help. The other factor that comes into play there too, this is a bottom line, and I've brought this up before in terms of Miami with recruiting, especially NIL era now. Miami, the approach they take is there are certain players that they will go above and beyond for, that they'll do the mentality of whatever it takes. But there are others that they deem, okay, you know, there is a certain cutoff, there's a certain limit, and that we're not going to go over this for this player. How they deem them in terms of their talent and what they see down the line, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, what they think that player could be.
Do you think kids now are saying, I get a chance to play in North Carolina, I'm getting some money, I'm not married there, I could just go to Miami the next year if they're my dream school, or the next year?
I think some kids are also taking that approach just overall in recruiting, that some are going to other programs just more so for early opportunity, and then just going to a bigger program after that. That's definitely coming into play now.
Can they still transfer? Well, they were going to make it one time, I think they were talking about, but can they still transfer unlimited times?
They can still transfer unlimited times right now.
Wow. So why not take advantage of it? They don't have to come here and sit on the bench when they have an opportunity to go somewhere else and get paid. Who was in today? Tracy Howard was in the store today. Cliff was in the store, actually. He hasn't been on the show, but he was visiting Pennsylvania, Cliff and Connor. And Tracy Howard came in, was talking to him for a bit, and great guy. It was a different time when those guys were here, just a few years ago, for that matter. When no NIL money. And amazing how fast it turned. Let's see. The disrespect of the Cairo mobility. Raymond Rodriguez. Yes, I love Brad Kai, a great kid, and I think he obviously made a mistake leaving the program when he did. I mean, he could have stayed with Mark Richt, and I don't know if we would have done better that year, but who knows? Stephen Morris had was it Stephen Morris that had the phenomenal year, or was it Malik? Who took
what
it?
under?
Malik.
No, that was Malik.
Malik took after, and Malik had a great year, but Brad Kai stays. He's the guy. And Brad looked phenomenal late in the season when we won those 4 and we won the bowl game. I mean, he obviously went to. I thought he went too early, which is sad. Just a great kid, but he did not have that mobility. If they would have made him let him run, sometimes he could have ran. I thought all day on those RPOs. Nobody was left home. I never understood why isn't this guy running. But I'm just a layman. Gilbert, our linebackers are fast. Absolutely. How would you rate our linebackers through 5 games, Gio?
I think there's been some nice flashes from Poco Aguirre in particular. Wesley Bissain, especially the last few games, has done really well. I mentioned this earlier today with Michael Yo. I don't think Mohamed Touré has hit his stride yet. I think there is more that Miami fans can see from him. I don't think he's put it all together just yet coming off the injury.
Do you think we're gonna? Do you think he's? Do you hear that he's getting better? Do you think he's getting better to get back to form?
I think he's getting better over the course of the season.
So we really want him to hit his stride as we get closer to the playoffs.
Yes, and the reason why I say this too is you turn on the tape when he played at Rutgers, especially when he played competition that was better, like a team like Ohio State, for example. He really stood out in those games. And I think there is going to come a point in time as the season goes along that I think he's really going to start to factor in, that he's going to make that difference. My belief.
Well, that would be great because this defense is made for him. I mean, not specifically for him, but that's the time. I mean, he could be.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's very familiar with the defense overall. He spent a couple of years with Heatherman.
Awesome. Rob Dukes projecting 4 sacks for Bain. I will take it.
Wow.
That would be awesome.
That's bold.
That is bold. 25 Canes. So players are still out, even though they aren't on the injury report. Is that the case?
Yeah. Well, the same thing happened the previous game going into the Florida State game when Miami had to release their first ACC injury report. There was a couple other names added on by the time it got to game time, and some names that were initially missed that have been out. So you probably see the same again this week.
All righty. I saw Chance Robinson on there. Somebody mentioned Chance. Is he injured? Is everybody that's on that is not out? Are they all injured, or some of them are just non-injury out?
No. All the guys that are on there, they're actually like injured and out.
So could Chance Robinson be redshirted this year?
Well, he took a red shirt last year, so he's a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman right now.
You can't redshirt back-to-back years, correct?
No, the only other red shirt you can get after like a playing time one that you didn't play in 4 games during a season is a medical red shirt. Those you have to apply for through the NCAA.
Okay. Anthony Mazzano, hi, welcome to the show. Cell TV, what's up with Jones, defensive tackle? Is he transferring?
A lot of people always ask me that question all the time. Still too early to say. He is one of the stronger guys on the team. Was nicked up throughout most of the offseason. Did play a little bit against Bethune-Cookman, but it's not really in that playing rotation right now for Miami at D tackle.
All righty. Great to have depth, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Gio, are you aware Louisville will start Sylvester 6'6", 280 at the left tackle and 6'4", 290 at the right tackle with a 5'9", 180 Isaac Brown pass protecting Moss?
Yes, I've scoured their roster throughout the bye week and the time off. And like I said, Louisville's got a lot of troubles up front on the offensive line, and even the defensive line a little bit undersized as well, which I think Miami's going to take advantage of.
Well, that's the kind of team we definitely want to play, someone that's undersized. But we thought the Florida State defensive line was undersized, didn't we?
The what?
Did we think the Florida State line was undersized?
No, not so much them. Not so much them, and
Okay.
a lot of that had to do just having Daryl Jackson up front, guys like Lyons as well, and the other the edge rushers that they have. They actually have some size, but just they lacked productivity on the edge.
Houdini 89. Miami should go after the 2 FSU twins.
So you're talking about Mandrell Desir and Daryl Desir. So they both played at Miami Norland. Miami did recruit both of them lightly. They never really made them a priority. I don't know if those guys would end up hitting the portal or not. I know one of the brothers has had a pretty nice to decent freshman season, but that's, again, it's just hypothetical and speculation at this point. I mean, until guys like that hit the portal, and if Miami decides to even go in that direction, it's just hypothetical at the end of the day. I don't know if they're going to go in or not.
Rob Dukes, Gio and Michael Yo are awesome.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Gio. Thank you for the compliment. For Gio and Michael do a fantastic job. Temmie, welcome to the show. Canes recruiting isn't for fickle, soft, and emotional fans.
He's right.
Absolutely. I think we're talking to Canes. All right, and it's a cutthroat business now. Dwayne Slaughter, welcome to the show. JoJo would be a nice piece to the puzzle. Definitely. There's no doubt about it.
25 Kane shared here. Do you guys think Carson Beck has another 3 to 4 touchdown game? Like tomorrow or just in general of the season? If you're talking about season, yeah, I think he'll have another 3 or 4 touchdown game along the way. Tomorrow, though, I see Miami running the ball a little more again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Louisville is going to take the same approach that Florida State did in terms of trying to completely sell out for the run. So I'm going to go with I think Beck either has 2 or 3 touchdowns tomorrow. I don't think he has 4.
I don't see my problem doing it multiple times the way he's playing. And that line he gets to stay behind. It's obviously he's like saying, wow, I died and went to heaven with this offensive line. Bob Dukes, hope Jordan Lyle goes off tomorrow. We all do. Rose says more and JoJo is a must. Absolutely. Gilbert with the we Cubans, we don't spell. Gio, who's the next commitment and or flip? New King God is asking.
Oh, that's $1 million question right now because Miami's involved with several guys. I'm not expecting one imminently right now. I will share this, like I said, with Michael Yo earlier today. I expect to see more movement for Miami, like in terms of that you'll see news and things happening by the end of October to beginning of November that I'm anticipating more movement on the recruiting front. Like, yes, they're going to have a couple of guys visit this Friday, tomorrow, but it's also a difficult circumstance in itself because Friday night game, a lot of these kids play their games on Fridays. Some kids that are coming are having a bye week with their high school program, or they played their game tonight on a Thursday. Sometimes that happens too. So it's a little bit of a challenge getting kids in, but they are trying to load up on the upcoming Stanford game, which will be a night game. And they're trying to load up on the Syracuse game as well, the next 2 home games that come after. So not expecting anything imminently this week, but like I said, by the end of October, beginning of November, I expect much more movement for Miami in that factor of what you're asking, like commitments or guys actually flipping. That's when I anticipate it more.
Todd Fowler with the old Dolphin Denny comment. All right, I remember Dolphin Denny. Says, if only the Dolphins played like the Canes. Being a fan of both teams, 100%, Todd. I'll drink to that, as Dolphin Denny would have said. May he rest his soul. Rob, do we have a chance with Cooper?
Yes, but not. How do I explain this? Someone asked me this question earlier, very similarly, when I spoke with Michael Yo today on Comics on Canes earlier this afternoon, and I described it like this: not something like right away. Derek Cooper's recruitment is something that stretches into the early signing day period, first week of December. Not expecting like an immediate decision that he's going to just decommit from Texas or flip somewhere just right now at this moment. He will be visiting Miami again tomorrow for the 3rd time this season. He's visited Miami more than any other program. I know fans have taken the approach, well, he says, he wants to see more from Miami, this and that, or whatever, all the extra jargon. But Mario Cristobal's taking a personal approach with that recruitment. He went out to see him at his game the other week. Miami's not going to concede in that. They're not going to concede until the final whistle or bell, whichever word you want to put next to that. But they're going to continue recruiting him. He still is a priority for the program. Bottom line, at the end of the day, they want him in the class. They're going to continue chipping away until signing day. Now, about having a chance, yes, I do think they have a realistic chance there. I don't think it's like a hopeful or optimistic. I think they do have a chance. Um, they have a chance with many guys. Not doesn't mean they're going to get everyone. Not trying to be cryptic here either, but just being realistic here. That is there a window of opportunity? Yes, there is. When a kid is visiting your program multiple times and he's right down the road, there's always that opportunity, especially when you're winning on the field.
I mean, it used to be, and probably still is, but that if you're doing well, you're Alabama, you're Clemson, you're lighting it up, everybody wants to go to your program. They say Miami's not as good. They want to go to, if Florida State was good, they'll go to Florida State. But now with the NIL the way it is, and kids can play right away, they can move around every single year they want. Do you think it's a disadvantage to be a powerhouse now with lots of depth versus a team that is not as good? And are kids more interested in winning, or are they more interested in getting an opportunity to play?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think sometimes these kids, they follow the program that's hot. I've noticed that a lot of the, like, even if that program that is hot, like, or like trendy, may not be winning games, they kind of go like where the hype is. Like, for example, that happened a little bit with Colorado. I mean, no disrespect to I think Deion's done some good things there. No disrespect to him at all, but I think some kids have kind of followed that train of like hype trains rather than going to a winning program. And then you do have your kids that they just want to go to a winning program. Like you could offer them as much money as you want, but they still want to go to a program that's winning games too. So that has happened. There's been recruits that that Miami and Georgia and Alabama have battled for in the past, and some kids deferred to Georgia, especially during that first recruiting cycle for Mario Cristobal. And that course of action has kind of changed over time. There's more kids turning down Georgia in favor of Miami. It's happening more now, and it has to do with the success that Miami's having on the field. You're not going to win all of those battles, but Miami is winning more of them now than they did against the school like Georgia or Alabama compared to when Mario first arrived. I mean, they still won some battles even then, some shockers. Francis Mauigoa, a lot of people, there was a lot of discussion back then. Oh, he's SEC this, SEC that. He took a chance and went to Miami and it worked out for him.
No doubt about it. I mean, we just got the number one recruit, Jackson Cantwell, right? I mean, there were other teams that wanted him. There had to be
Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State was involved with him, Michigan.
Anytime you mention all those names, especially those teams that are offensive line factories, it's good to know that we're right there with those teams now. Juan Manuel, what happened to Joe Lamar? He quit this.
Jay Lamar, yeah.
Jay Lamar. He quit his high school team. Did the kids realize decisions could be costing them opportunity and money?
Yeah, so Jay Lamar didn't exactly quit his high school team off his own decision. It was more so that he got the boot off of Colquitt County. He also didn't play his first 2 seasons for his high school team because of, 1, academic reasons, and 2, there was some off-field things going on. Sad situation overall. I hope the kid finds the guidance and path that he needs, or whatever the case may be there. But I don't expect Miami to continue to be involved there. And there's several other programs that are backing off now too, just with that situation. So if he ends up at Georgia, we'll see. Very talented back, but just think the kid I don't want to say the word help, just more focus on the things that are important going forward.
Well, hopefully, absolutely, and it's that does catch up with kids, which is a sad part. Gilbert, guys, great show. Public safety officer at Yale University. Shift is done. Congrats, Gilbert. Flying out in the AM. Go Canes. If you get a chance, stop by CanesWear. We'd love to see you, Gilbert. Always appreciate the support. Well, there's an interesting job. Public safety officer at a university, let alone any university, an Ivy League school. So, Rob Dukes, Luke Nickel is the future. Look at that, a Luke Nickel call.
I have pushback on that. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think he still needs plenty of growth for that to be a possibility. And gunslinger mentality is much more willing to throw the ball than some of the other backups, but still very turnover prone. And that's something that he needs to work on. The staff has to work on with him. And then you'll have Darion Coleman coming in, which those two guys will end up competing as well. But I stick around on the side of that. I expect Miami to take at least one more transfer at quarterback next year.
All right. So Luke Nickel. So can a guy like that improve? That is turnover prone.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's been several quarterbacks. I mean, you look at the trend in college football now that there are quarterbacks that the quarterbacks that are having at least the most success amongst the landscape are guys that have played college football for 4, 5, some even 6 years that are having the most success, and most of them all guys that have transferred from another program. So, I mean, I'm not saying it can't be like a talent that was built in-house, like a guy that was built up and developed. I'm not saying that can't happen. There's some cases like that, but the name of the game this year and even last year, it's the transfer quarterbacks with experience that have played a lot of real games are the ones having the most success.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Luke is the future for another team, not Miami. Juan Manuel comes at. Okay, so basically alluding to what you're saying right there. And he typed that before Gio said that, so great job, Juan. So Mark Pope really wasn't a 5-star talent. Do you agree with that?
I think in terms of build, like body composition, like what you think a 5-star receiver would look like a Jeremiah Smith, like a freakazoid athlete. No. In terms of what he was doing in high school and at these 7-on-7 events, there's reasons why he got the hype that he did because of how productive he was. But I get it. What Juan's trying to say, though.
He if he would have gone, he would have balled out. There's been plenty of smaller guys. I mean Devontae Smith was very slight. Jalen Waddle was slight out of Alabama. There's been other guys like that. You also have to have in this game, not to say he did not have, but you have to have the head to play this game too, the mentality. It's not an easy sport, especially the fans, social media, they will rip you up and chew you up.
And the biggest thing for wide receivers above all else, you have to be able to catch the ball.
Catch the ball.
Strong hands that you can reel in the ball. And there's plenty of receivers I've seen over years and years, great athletes, fast as heck, but some just inconsistent catching the ball.
Mm-hmm. Good point by Rob. You can't rely on portal every year for quarterbacks. Number one, it costs a lot of money. But number two, it's difficult. But if it's not broken, Mario may not feel like he needs to fix it. If he can bring in a quarterback every year.
Let me pose this question to you, Brett, because there's a lot of college teams that have taken this approach, but I'll pose it to you. Would you rather spend 7 figures on a quarterback that has actual experience, has won real games, has played in tough environments, has maybe 2, 3, 4 years of experience under his belt, or a high school kid that he may have the measurables, he may have the arm talent, but hasn't done anything yet at the collegiate level? And to pay him 7 figures, which one would you rather take?
I think, if you take in a star who you believe is a star, who's won, then, it's hands down. You're going to go with the guy experienced. Everybody was cutting up on Beck, but he was 25-3 going into the season on an SEC team. And 2 of those losses were to Alabama. So, you know what? That's the guy you go with. Rewind close to 10 years ago. I don't know how long it was. Probably that. Brad Kaya started as a freshman. We had one quarterback on the roster, and then we brought in another transfer, right? A 5th-year transfer, and Brad got the job. If it was today, and there was no portal at that time, correct?
Yes, correct.
We probably would have brought somebody in to be our quarterback, as opposed to Brad Kaya being the starter as a freshman.
Oh, well, they actually did at the time. They took a grad transfer.
Yeah, the grad transfer they got.
It was
Yeah,
they had 3 guys competing that
Mhm.
offseason. It was Jake Heaps,
Mhm.
Ryan Williams, and Brad Kaya. And Ryan got hurt close to the season, and Brad ended up winning the job.
I thought Ryan would have been good. Good kid.
Yeah,
He's from
yeah.
Maryland, I'm pretty sure, right? I thought he would have been good.
Yeah, he came from Memphis, yeah.
Memphis. Okay, so I thought he didn't get hurt. I remember him coming into the warehouse. Big kid, what was about 6'5" or so.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Big quarterback.
just too bad he got hurt. Let's see. I know Luke will be good. Mario is recruiting to upgrade from him. That's a good point, Juan Manuel. Raf Lopez, doesn't matter. Why would Mario settle and not go for experienced QB in the portal? Doesn't make sense. You look at Mario as failing to do his best.
I agree with that approach. What Raf said, and you know what? I look at it like this: if your team is in a position where you have the pieces where you can actually like win or make a run towards the postseason, go after the transfer quarterback. Don't forge the possibility on, oh, maybe this kid is a freshman sensation. Like, yeah, there are some good freshman quarterbacks out there this year. Like, for example, JKS at California right now, Jerron Sagapolu for California, or you have Malik Washington for Maryland. And I'm sure I'm forgetting maybe 1 or 2 others this year, but not every freshman quarterback's going to be like that. They're not. So I understand the approach, why these top teams, the top of the line teams, are taking transfer guys. Or the way I look at it is, for example, Ohio State. What is the position they took? Because everyone talks about Julian Sand, right, with Ohio State. He redshirted last year. He didn't play right out of the gate. He took a red shirt. They brought in a guy last year, and he also competed with other guys in that room this offseason. He wasn't just handed it either. He was a 5-star quarterback, but he wasn't handed the reins from day one when he walked in. I think it's a really big gamble. It's a really big gamble. And I think, this is my belief, until Miami has a young quarterback that they absolutely believe, like, this guy can win games for us, that they truly believe it, like there's no shadow of a doubt, they will continue to take a transfer guy. Bottom line.
No, that's a good point. There's no guarantee. Let's say you play a freshman, okay, and he doesn't do as well, or he thinks that wasn't the place. The fans boo him a little bit. He could be great, a sensation, but maybe he transfers out the next year. You just wasted your time with a freshman. He's not locked into you for 4 years just because he plays as his freshman year. He's a free agent like everybody else. So if you're trying to do the right thing, it could blow up in your face.
Oh, well, look at Cam Ward. He started at Incarnate Word, then went to Washington State, and then to Miami. He was at 3 different stops.
Correct. I mean, even Carson Beck started Ohio State. Was that him that started Ohio State?
No, Carson.
It was the Dolphin quarterback, Quinn Ewers. Started Ohio State, even though Texas was his dream school. He went there, took all that money, and then he left there after 1 year. And it's like, huh? So he used them for the money or whatever he did. I'm not going to say. And then he went to, and then they didn't want him anymore at Texas. We're done with you. And now they've got Arch Manning, and that's another story. He's taking quite a bit of heat right now.
Or I got another question I'll pose. What if Miami were to take because this situation's already been done before by some other schools. What if you took a young, talented quarterback from another roster, someone who may not be happy where they're at, and you also take a veteran guy and you sit that young quarterback for a year, and then you play him the next year? Oregon did that with Dante Moore.
But how does Luke Nickel feel about that, and Darren and Coleman feel
about that? This is, at the end of the day, this is a business at the end of the day. When it comes to college football now, it is purely a business because of all the money that's involved, that feelings can't get in the way either. And so I could share with you this about Darion Coleman, because the question's been asked to his QB trainer, who Miami fans are very familiar with. He's a big Cane fan himself, Balin Trujillo. And he shared it before that Darion Coleman, he doesn't care if a transfer guy comes in or not, that he's going to compete with him and he's going to try to prove that he is the quarterback for Miami. So Luke Nickel should, I mean, I can't speak for Luke Nickel, but should take on that very same mentality. No matter if a transfer quarterback comes in or not, still compete, because there have been scenarios that have played out around the country where schools have brought in a transfer guy and the young quarterback actually ends up winning the job.
Mm-hmm. No, that has happened. And this year there's only one transfer portal, right?
Yes, only one transfer portal. That it begins January 2nd.
For 2 weeks?
Yeah, 15-day.
The guy doesn't win a job. It doesn't matter. After that 15 days, no, he can still, if he doesn't enter the portal, he's with that team the whole year no matter what, correct?
Well, Xavier Lucas also kind of proved this offseason that the transfer portal is more formality than anything. Obviously, it makes the recruiting process more difficult as a transfer player if you were to just, get yourself out of the school system of the university that you're at and then just enroll at another school. That is where it becomes more difficult, that you can't really take those visits and everything. It makes things more complicated for these guys that may be trying to tender multiple offers and see what's their market. So yeah. And also I think it makes this interesting for college football teams and their head coaches in general. Now you have a smaller window and you don't have this window after spring. So you need to be decisive and quick, and you need to know what your game plan is. Like, we're going after these positions and that's it, because we don't have another shot at this after the spring. And we're stuck with most of these guys, even after spring. If we don't like this guy or that guy, or we want to kind of shoo this guy out of the program, you can't replace.
So it's going to be interesting this year with only one. I mean, one official. Granted, a guy can play a couple of games and sit out the year at any time.
Yeah.
Campolanos did last year, right? He sat out the season. He said, I'm done. I'm not going to play anymore. I mean, I don't think you'll see that with kids before the season, but you could see it before they get to their 5 games. But it'll be interesting with one time. Orange and green recruiting classes typically have a star QB in them, and the QB is normally helping recruit his class. Going into the portal every year for QB is a disaster of a recipe. What's your thoughts on that, Gio?
I don't think it is. As long as you are bringing in one high school quarterback a year that you believe has the talent or the potential to be a guy at some point, as long as you're taking a guy from the high school ranks, it's fine. It's absolutely fine, because I don't think people understand this, how many quarterbacks college football programs go through that are just not it. They're just not it. They may not be good enough for this level. They may not be good enough for Power 4, or maybe they have to play down in G5. And then you see several kids that play at G5 or a D2 that work their way up. I don't think it's a disaster for recipe. I mean, a recipe for disaster, as long as you are continuing to recruit high school quarterbacks. Now, if you took the approach of, we're just not going to take a high school guy at all, yeah, I think that's very concerning. Absolutely.
Did Emory and Nickel have an opportunity to compete for first string this year or no?
No. I mean, in a way, yes and no. Figuratively, because Beck wasn't participating in spring, Emory took most of the reps of the ones, and some of the other guys got some reps of the ones too. But yeah,
what would our record be, do you believe, if one of those two guys or it was quarterback right now?
I think 4-1 or 3-2.
Wow.
I don't think they win. I don't think they win that Notre Dame game with a different quarterback. I don't think so.
All right. Manuel have a high-end transfer quarterback in 26. QBs will look at Miami as the next best thing going to the draft. I agree.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Absolutely. I made the comparison to it when Miami was first going after Cam Ward the prior year. that they could create a situation with the offensive line and the offensive talent, the running backs, the running game, and just in general, that whole thing, that quarterbacks could view Miami as a destination school that, man, you know, I could go there, could play with a good offensive line, have protection, a good running game that I could kind of lean on, and receivers like playmakers. Because, again, it's shown the last couple of years now, it's a favorable situation. Why would a quarterback not want to come to Miami?
Exactly. It's plug and play. Mario just has to build around them with the offensive line first, the running game, which is going to be benefiting from the offensive line as well, and the receivers. And the quarterback says, "I'm just stepping in here. I'm basically, it's a headhunter job. We're recruiting this kid."
I'll give you a great answer to this, even though it's the reverse, that it's a different position. It's not the quarterback, but CJ Daniels, he admitted that he missed the boat the prior year with Cam Ward, that, you know, he was highly considering Miami. Miami didn't have the quarterback yet, and he decided to go to LSU, and he was kicking himself that he didn't come to Miami to play with Ward.
Great point. So basically what Orange and Green was saying is he's saying bringing in the recruits. But right now, players are going to go to where it doesn't matter if it's a recruit or it's a fifth-year starter. If Cam Ward would have said, "I'm going to Miami instead of the NFL," we would have had Jeremiah Smith, correct? Most probably.
Yes.
So they're going to go if whoever's the receivers, and there's a lot of transfer receivers now. They're going to go to where they want to play with the quarterback. So it does go both ways, that's for sure.
Yes, it does.
Well, that's awesome. So let's see. This is a big topic here. Raf, but you get an experienced QB rather than to have to develop one. If you're about winning right away, there's no time. It's about winning right away. There's no time for losing. I agree now.
It's a win now business.
This is a business, but there's no more let's build a team. That doesn't happen anymore. Doesn't happen once you get to where Miami is. All right, so we're back and forth on that. I'd say 50% of the people say, like Orange Green, we need to develop a quarterback. Other 50% like Raf says.
I like this comment from Raf. I absolutely agree on this. NIL era just doesn't make sense to not get a portal quarterback. You are either broke or just not smart to do so. I agree. I absolutely agree. And that's the approach many of the top teams in the country have taken. Or yes, they're still continuing to recruit the high school ranks. And until they have a young guy that they trust and believe can actually play and win games, they continue taking transfer guys. Ohio State has done it. USC has done it. Alabama has even done it as well. Oregon as well, several times already. So I'm sorry, Miami fans who say that, just kick it off to the young quarterbacks. I don't agree with that at all. I think it would be bad business practice to do so.
Ohio State had Will Howard last year. Isn't it a freshman this year? He's a young quarterback, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman.
So they are going the freshman way. So let's just say we play Ohio State in the championship, okay, which would be great. All right. Not stepping ahead of myself. And we've got our fifth-year quarterback in Carson Beck, who went into the season 25-3. At that time, let's hope at that time he's 39-3. Okay? That'd be quite nice. At 14-0 we are. And then we play their freshman quarterback. That would be an argument for which way to go, the fifth year or the freshman. Teams can look at how these two different teams from the total end of the spectrum going at it. That would be kind of interesting. I would like our advantage. But that could have a year.
JoJo Gunn shared here, last loss at Hard Rock Stadium, Louisville, 38-31 over Miami in 2023. Yeah, that was near the end of the season. That was the infamous game with the unsportsmanlike penalties at the end from Jacoby George and Brashard Smith, and Jacoby George smacked a defensive back across the helmet at the end of the game. That was quite the surprise. George Blanco said the 12-man is at Texas A&M. Rob Duke said, so what are we going to do to get Coleman? What are we going to do to get Coleman? Which one?
Darian Coleman?
The quarterback? He's already in the class.
Yeah, he's been a commit for a while now.
Yeah. Juan Manuel said, Miami will have their pick for a proven QB. They have proof of concept. Yes, that's the biggest thing. Look at the LSU QB. What is he lacking? What Miami brings?
Mhm.
Yeah, Nussmeier, the biggest problem that he has with the LSU offense this year, their offensive line is terrible.
Good point.
It's absolutely terrible. They went and got all these receivers to play with him, but they can't protect him. Raf Lopez, just look at top 10 teams. How many portal QBs? Yes, absolutely. Well, even perfect example, Indiana right now, transfer quarterback, Fernando Mendoza from California. Another transfer kid right there. Orange and Green recruiting classes always rally around the QB in their class, though. Yes, they do. And Miami has continued to recruit high school guys at quarterback. But I agree with the approach. Don't overpay a high school quarterback. I'm going to give a great example, actually, of don't overpay high school quarterbacks. And the reason why I say this, look at recent guys like Jackson Arnold at Auburn, who started off at Oklahoma. Disastrous. He was a 5-star guy. You know how much money that guy's been paid to play quarterback, and he's barely won games throughout his career. Another example, even though Nico has done better his last 2 games, at least the majority of his career to this point, not very good. Not very good, not cutting it for what he was getting paid. So the other thing, Jaden Rashada, same class and all. Not very good at all, actually. He actually lost the job at Sacramento State. It's not even in the Power 4 right now or anything of the sort. So this thing of, pay a young quarterback, whatever. The top teams are not doing that. Yeah, they may get a talented young quarterback, but they're going to take the transfer guy too. And until they know for sure they have a young quarterback that can actually do it at that level, they're not turning over the reins. They're not.
The quarterback position, in my opinion, I'm sure everyone's opinion, is the toughest position in all sports. And I don't even think it's even close. There's nothing even close to what the quarterback has to do. The 2 to 3 seconds, if he's lucky to have time to throw the ball, the learning the offense. He's got to learn what every other player is doing, where they're going, what they're doing. He's got to be a motivator, as we saw with previous quarterbacks we had that people said were lackluster on the motivation stage. He's got to lead the team. I mean, through either words or through action. So, and it's tough. You're going to find an 18 or 19 or kid. But when you find a 22-year-old seasoned veteran, or 23 years old a lot of times, the 5th year, a 23 versus 18 or 19 is a huge difference, especially if he comes from a major program. He's been coached up like Beck. He's been at a top program. I mean, we were lucky to get him. Very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Miami will be right back in the market again. I think they will be.
Good point.
Let's see here. We will be playing in the last game of the 25-26 season at home.
We will be playing.
I think everyone would love that, because if that's the case, that means Miami's in the national championship.
And it'll be in 2026, though. I'm pretty sure, right? We'll be playing that game. We have another shot at another home game after the season ends. The Orange Bowl game is here. I don't know how they pick who goes there, but so we've obviously, after the ACC championship, then would be the bye week, right? For the bye week or the wild card week, whatever they call it. And then
they'll have a little time off, and then
how do they determine who goes to the Orange Bowl and who goes to the other bowls?
Well, it's based on the conference as well that you come from. So, like, for example, Miami wins the ACC, they would get that bid
for the Orange Bowl.
Yes.
Oh, so that would Orange. Okay, so it's still
it's the seeding, and then conference championship. That's how you get like the favorability for it. So basically, let's say Miami's one of the top 4 teams, you get the bye, but then that what used to be the BCS bowls, which is now that quarterfinal, you're getting what your conference entails. So like ACC or whatever, Orange Bowl. So Miami would get it at Hard Rock Stadium.
Is that the quarters or the semis?
Quarter. And then semis they already have set and determined what that is.
So
And the
technically it could be,
championship is Hard Rock.
so it could be 16 games, and it's 12 for the season, one for the a 13th game for the a 13 game for the ACC championship. 14th would be the quarter. 15th would be the is if you win out, and 16 games. So people would say Miami just play. I want people to put an asterisk next to us and say, you know what? But they had 10 games at home to win the national championship. I want to say the asterisk.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Brett. If that's the hypothetical, if that situation all plays out like that, and let's say if Miami won it all, I think it would be very fitting, at least history-wise, and kind of what the story has been with this program throughout its history. Basically, where did they win their first national championship? The Orange Bowl in Miami.
Correct.
I think it would be very fitting for the program.
Oh, it would be. We won 3 of our national championships in Miami. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So we've obviously won 3 of them. In that'd be awesome. But we have not won one in an Orange Bowl game in Hard Rock though. But that would be fitting. We only won in the Orange Bowl. But you're right. We did win the '83, which, by the way, Kenny Calhoun is coming to CanesWear, who tipped that ball away to win that game against Notre Dame when they went for the 2-point conversion. And another thing, Bernie quarterback, who was the quarterback of our team, has been very ill. He was supposed to come down, but I know he's having some difficulty. So prayers to Bernie. Hopefully he will have recovery and be back to his old self. Between Bernie and Jim Kelly having, we've had some unlucky with our first couple of quarterbacks that were stars for this team.
Rob Dukes mentions here, all teams need to be taken serious, even if they aren't good. All it takes is one bad loss. Yep, what we were talking about earlier. Raph Lopez said, DJ Lagway recruited and played right away. How'd that work out? Yeah.
Great point.
I believe it's the 2023 recruiting class of quarterbacks. It's, if you look at it, like the top 10 guys, disastrous.
Mm-hmm. Let these guys go ahead and make their mistakes with another team and then come to you. I mean, just like in the NFL, do you want a guy? I mean, you got a rookie quarterback, or do you want a 4th or 5th year quarterback that's been seasoned and everything like that? If you could have starting granted, if he's a prodigy and you're going with the kid, but they've actually got 4 or 5 more years experience than the kids that are starting for these college teams.
Yeah, there's plenty more comments here about Lagway. Lagway's injury prone. Lagway has more issues than just injuries. I actually agree with that. I think some of it has to do with play calling going on there in Florida. And he also struggles on passes beyond 15 yards. If you look through his passing charts,
I think
hasn't had
those
much
Gator fans were just screaming that he was going to be so much better than Carson Beck.
Yeah, they swore up and down about that. And, I said it throughout the offseason that I didn't understand the hype. I didn't feel like there was anything Lagway put on tape last year or even performance-wise during his freshman year that, downright for sure, this guy's going to have a phenomenal year, that for sure Heisman candidate. I thought it was crazy. Like the talk about that was, I'm like, where are these people getting this from? Like, does he have the potential to be good? Yes. The attributes are there, like the size, the power, the strength, the arm strength in general. But again, that doesn't always materialize. Potential is a scary word. I always say it.
Potential is a very scary word. Exactly. They settle.
Rob Duke said, I'm not convinced Ohio State is as good as they seem to be. We'll see. I think their defense is legit.
I agree.
Signetti married Indiana. He can't cheat.
Thomas said the Dolphins should get Signetti. He's not going to the Dolphins. If he's getting $11 million in Indiana, I mean, how much do you have to spend there to get a house?
Yeah, Raymond said Indiana used money from the basketball team. That makes sense.
Move over.
Jake said here, what do y'all think about Coach O going to the Dolphins? I don't think the Dolphins would do that.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think Coach O needs that aggravation in his life either.
No, well, I'll tell you this, Brett. I've actually had the chance to run into Coach O recently a couple times. He still has the itch to be involved with the game, like actually like on a coaching level. I
Really?
wouldn't be like if the right opportunity presents itself, I would not be surprised if Coach Orgeron was coaching a college football team again. I'm being dead serious. He still has the itch.
Interesting.
Raph Lopez said, imagine Stanford beats FSU this week. Oh, that would be terrible for that program.
Exactly. Terrible.
Raymond,
I'm not counting them out.
Raymond said, let's see. He said, Geo as a balloon in the Macy's Day Parade. That's funny. Jake, at this point, I take anyone but McDaniel. Yeah, not many people are fans of Mike McDaniel these days.
And he's starting to run the offense a little better. I will say that. I mean, I wouldn't mind Cam Ward having him as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Hassan shared here, Gio, I saw you smashing with Michael Yo show today. Thank you. Thank you for the support as always, Hassan. Louisville running backs don't matter with their crap O-line. Yep. How are they going to hold up? I mean, Miami's one of the better teams, top 10 teams actually, against the run this season. Jorge Blanco, wear orange, please. Yes, Miami's wearing orange tops, white bottoms, and black cleats tomorrow night.
There was a rumor that Miami was planning on wearing green, but Mario said, don't fix it if it's not broken. So
I agree with Mario.
Win this game. I mean, unless he's saying he's not too worried about Stanford, he plays in the military uniforms, which he picked.
I'll tell you this, Brett. Whenever I'm not at a game, I'll give you an example of something I would do. If Miami is winning and I'm sitting at a certain spot on the sofa in the living room, I'm not moving from that spot. That's my spot for the game. If they're losing, I switch it up. I'm superstitious.
I'm totally with you. I used to be there years ago, and on a comeback, I would touch the drawer, and then I'd go back and touch it again. And every single play, I would do it, whatever it took.
Temmie said, patience. It's a long season. JoJo Trader and Josh Moore will be playing key roles by game 12. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Raymond said, Gio, you got the hookup on the Jordans all the alums been wearing on sidelines. Yeah, they're actually being sold. I forgot. I think there's some specific website that they're selling those customized Jordans that are in hurricane colors that the alumni have been wearing. Coach O would make the Finns better. Black pants with camo unis versus Stanford. I'm not sure what the bottoms are. I mean, everyone has seen the jerseys at this point. I know there's varying opinions on it. I said my piece on it that I think it possibly would have been more well received if it was a darker print of the camo. But again, we'll see. I have heard black helmet with it though.
Yeah, I've heard the black helmet, but I don't know how true it is. But people do want it darker. But that is, John, who works for us, it was in the Army. He says that's the official Army. They have those uniforms. They wear them. It's not the digit camo of the Canes. It's literally support the military. It's not about the Canes. Mario is a big supporter of the military. So the bottom line is let's just win in the game, and then everybody's excited about it. Oh, by the way, got the coolest cups here, Gio. I don't know if you can see those in the camera here. No, you can't. But anyway, the coolest there it is.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, so they're really sharp. They're very similar to the jersey. They are awesome. 24-ounce cups for like $39. You can either it's got the U.S. flag on one side. It's got U Hurricanes on the other. And you can drink it like with a straw. It's built-in straw, or you can just drink it the regular way. Great item. We just got in today.
By the way, Duck said earlier he liked the offense against FSU. If Duck approves of the offense, Miami's doing something right.
All right. Yeah, that is true.
Duck's been very critical over the years, so
he has been.
Temmie said Lofton is still not 100% healthy. You can tell they are working him back in slowly. Yes, that's been the case. Hassan said, Gio, with Dana White saying he will contribute in the NIL, will it help with recruiting and transfer portal? And also, isn't Jeff Bezos' kid going to Miami also? So it's not would be his stepson. It's the son of his partner now that is going to the University of Miami. Will it help? in terms of Dana White making a contribution, absolutely anything helps at all, actually. So
Dana said, I think was it, but that it's Bezos' wife, correct? They got that big marriage.
yes,
So it's Bezos' wife, and it's his, and it's like you say, Dana White is obviously just made that big deal for the television deal he made. So he's got a few billion sitting around. I'm trying to get to him myself, so you guys reach out to him as well.
so Rob Dukes mentions here, is CanesWear selling the camo jerseys? Yes, Rob, they are.
They are. I'll have it in the picture in a second here, Rob. We are. We have the jerseys, we have the hats, we have the shirts, we have the cups, we have it all. You can see it back there, but I'll put it right up here again. There it is. So we do have the camo jerseys. We have them, Rob. I know you love your jerseys. Did I lose the station here? There we go. But yes, we have those. We have the hats. We have cool shirts. So yes, we definitely have those. 100th anniversary of the 25.
So Juan Manuel asked about Mike Norvell's black eye. Was Mike Norvell baited to get into a fight with a player for Florida State to fire him with a just cause? He did have a black eye, and Conrad Hussey allegedly fought a coach before the season. I don't know what the story is about Mike Norvell's black eye, but it was pretty interesting when he did have that press conference after the Miami game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's a rumor. Heard Pittman, the wide receiver for FSU, put that out. Oh, okay. Giovanni Foster got some close intel. JoJo is going to transfer. Still too early to say. Juan Manuel, if FSU is smart, they could pay a player to fight Norvell and videotape.
I guess football is not their number one consideration at FSU.
Charles Dawson said, to be honest, this game shouldn't be close. Beck will have another big game because they will think he can't beat them. No, I think Louisville's going to come in respecting Beck's arm, honestly. Let's see. Mike Norvell should be careful. $49 million. A school can hire an actor to get you in compromise. Just cause situation on video. Man, Juan Manuel really wants Mike Norvell to be gone from Florida State.
Yeah, Rob Duke said he should be fired. If so, you don't hit your players. But did he actually hit the player?
Who? Mike Norvell?
Yeah, he didn't hit a player, did he?
No.
He didn't put a Willie. I mean, it's obviously Woody Allen hit a player. Somebody else hit a player. I mean, that's an immediate dismissal.
Yeah. Juan Manuel said, at the rate Miami is recruiting receivers, don't see Robinson or Carr staying at Miami. Rob Duke said, if FSU loses Stanford, Norvell will be fired. Yeah, I think that would be a big one. Lamar Thomas stopped by the show. He said, I thought that was my own personal background. Thanks, Jeff.
I guess that's the background I have right now. All right, Lamar. Good to see you, buddy. We left it. Lamar does a great podcast on Wednesday nights. So we're trying to do this on Thursday with Gary Furman. He does it right direct from the CanesWear store. So make sure you check out that awesome podcast as well. One day, maybe we can go ahead and we can go our podcast the same time as then and cross paths with the audience, Gio. We can get something.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. We don't want it a lot. We just want it to be the biggest, baddest podcast in the nation. I figure if we're going, we'll go.
Carl P shares here. Gio, how does one get into coaching or analyzing without a football background? Well, there have been some people. I know there's even some recent coaches that didn't even play like the actual game that have gotten into coaching and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's just networking, getting to know certain people. Obviously, you'd have to start like at a very low level, like a grad assistant or a low-level analyst and work your way up. There's guys that have done that. I know people that didn't play the game of football but are analysts even right now for Power 4 programs. Even one guy I know at Miami that just cut his teeth and worked his way up to the position. Now, in terms of like analyzing, I don't know if you mean like media side or whatnot. building up your audience, getting people to trust you over time. People may like your opinions or what you have to say or share. Just getting your name out there. I say to anyone that wants to get involved doing any type of media thing in sports, just push your stuff out there as much as possible, whether it's writing, talking, creating video form things, whatever the case may be. That's your best avenues. And it comes with time. Doesn't happen overnight.
Bengals shocked the Steelers 33-31.
The Bengals beat the Steelers.
Yeah.
Wow.
I took them the other day like 100-1, 50-1 to get to the playoffs, I think it was. Or maybe it was 30-1. I don't know what it was. But it was there, so I bet it. Maybe it was Juan Manuel. He says, Notre Dame. Notre Dame at the smaller line. I think you're right. I did that.
Yeah, Notre Dame was smaller on the D line.
Yes.
I like their interior guys, their D tackles. Orange and Green said, we need David Stone from Oklahoma if he goes in the portal every year. Yeah, he's having a really good year for Oklahoma. He was ready to explore his options, and Oklahoma said, no, come on back. We'll pay you more, and it's open market now for these kids.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Juan Manuel said, Gio, FSU has an SEC type tackle and defense tackle in Kevin Wynn, the true freshman. Do you think Miami would have interest if he enters the portal? I can't say right now if they would have interest or not, but I know exactly who you're talking about, though. He finally got healthy for the Florida State game against Miami.
Do you see if the more we win, the more we have an opportunity, I believe, to poach players if we have a position to fill?
Yep. Atomic Props. Gio, do you know anyone that's visiting tomorrow? So they have the safety from the state of Georgia, Jamar Owens, who's expected in tomorrow. Derek Cooper's also stopping by. I know they have a couple other 2027s that are coming in from out of town too, but it's not a massive visitor list for tomorrow because of it being a Friday night game. But they still have opportunity on hand with some guys that are making it in. Raph Lopez said to Juan Manuel, stop asking about FSU players. Miami don't want them.
Well said. This Juan Manuel comment, this would be cool. If a guy like, who do we think is going to come in 26, that he said Mateer is still available? Is this not his senior? It's not his senior year?
I'm not entirely sure on that.
John Mateer has more eligibility. Juan Manuel is usually good with his takes there. But can you imagine if next year we wanted him this year? He was with Cam, right?
Actually, John Mateer does have.
Can you imagine that?
One more season of eligibility.
He was coming to us, wasn't he? Coming on the trip to us, but he stopped in Oklahoma and he never left there.
Yeah,
because Venables was his old coach, correct?
No, the new offensive coordinator for Oklahoma is
the offensive coordinator came from Kansas State.
No, he came from Washington State.
From Washington State. I'm sorry, Washington State, where Cam was. So he was going to come here. Cam told them about how great Miami was. Do you think this guy may be thinking, if it doesn't work out at Oklahoma, I'll just go to Miami next year? Would that be a big hit for us?
I think he's very talented. I personally have some qualms about him, as a passer. That's just my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see. It's long season, just only halfway through. So
let's just win.
Juan Manuel said, when Mario is visiting and taking a personal approach, I like Miami here. His O-line, hometown. Texas could really have a bad season. O-line is a real issue. There's a reason Texas running backs aren't doing well. Yes, Texas running backs, their entire backfield is struggling this season. Lamar
Arch Manning in Miami.
That what happened?
Arch Manning in Miami. He just says Texas. I think he's a little overrated, but we wouldn't want to spend that money. But maybe he says, I'm just going to go because I just want to prove that I'm good behind that line.
So Lamar Thomas shares here, this will be a nice test for our defense. Braum is a damn good play caller, but the trenches on both sides should be the difference tomorrow night. I absolutely agree with him. I think Miami will control everything at the line of scrimmage, offensively and defensively on both sides of the ball with what they have up front. I don't think Louisville matches up well with them in that factor. I really don't think so.
So is Braum a pro-style type quarterback?
Yeah, for the most part, not really a. Oh wait, who did you say, Braum?
Well, Brom, no, not Brom. I'm sorry. Their quarterback.
Oh, Miller Moss. Yeah, like not necessarily a guy that could run around the yard. No, he's not that type of quarterback. Let's see. Will Miami have his biggest ever Markel Bell? For there are a reason for him to keep developing up his draft. The situation with Markel Bell all depends on a waiver from the NCAA, and if it gets approved for him to come back for one extra year. Some guys have gotten that approved, some have been denied, so that's still up in the air if they even go that route. Gio, is Calvin Russell's teammate, the wide receiver Nick Lanier, going to reclassify to 2026? I can understand why. He sees Malachi Tony and NIL opportunity. It's been kind of like on the table, but when I've asked about that, there's basically the feedback has been that there's a lot of class work to be done there, that it's not something that would happen right away if he were to go that route. So it's just kind of where that stands. Son said Miami will keep getting transfer QBs unless they get a can't miss quarterback. Absolutely agree. And Lamar Thomas said Carson Beck is on the redemption tour.
Totally is. That is a great point. That's a great. The redemption tour for Beck. He has been dissed so much by every fan in college football, by all the broadcasters, by everybody, and they are all rallying around him now. Danny Cannell, do you remember what he was saying? I know Lamar's a big.
Danny Cannell.
Now look, Carson's the back, but it's like they're not even going to make. What did he say? They're not even going to make a bowl game. He said, "We're not going to make a bowl game with Carson Beck as our quarterback." So this is definitely redemption.
Miami. Well, I'll tell you this: Danny Cannell still has the opportunity for that to end up being true, but the likelihood is very low. It's very low. Miami's basically a game away from being bowl eligible. So
correct. Yes.
One man will. Mark Pope lacked enough physicality to play the game of football. Mark Pope never really lifted weights. So college, Ryan Williams fall into this bubble. His body may not be made to play football. Yeah, we'll see. I think Ryan Williams is much different talent compared to to Mark Pope, though. LTO official. I would like for us to take two transfer quarterbacks, one who's younger with talent and high upside, and one who has the experience, like Oregon did with Dylan Gabriel and Dante Moore. I agree with that. I mentioned that earlier. That's a different approach.
I just think that'll hurt our recruiting of kids. They may not want to go if we start taking. I'm okay with taking one transfer portal guy, but if we have quality guys like a Nickel and like a Coleman, I don't think we should go for another younger transfer portal guy. That's just my.
So this is the real important question. Have any of you seen Coach Heatherman blink? I don't think so.
He's one great guy.
Giovanni Kennedy said earlier, but if you get them as freshmen, would they poach them after they are good? That's going to happen to some programs after the season. There's going to be teams that are going to try to poach them.
And the kid may not be that happy.
If JoJo doesn't play meaningful snaps tomorrow, he's heading the transfer portal. The problem is the kids stay home and can't see the field. Example, Ray. Yeah, but I mean, look, here's the thing about the Ray thing. I feel the thing that gets lost in translation about the situation with Ray Joseph, he was behind Xavier Restrepo. And there was no way, if hell froze over, that Xavier Restrepo was going to come off the field aside from an injury. With how consistent he was and how he was able to produce. That right there, number one. Then number two, Ray, there's never been a problem with him like putting in the work, or he's a really good student too. Talented player still. You know, Malachi Tony's a special player. He really is. It's obvious. Everyone sees it now, what was being talked about back since the spring and when he arrived here. But that's a tough situation as well because, yes, Ray has talent, but Malachi Tony's a very special player. How are you going to take Malachi Tony off the field just to put Ray out there? It's a tough situation overall. I've said this before that I wouldn't be surprised if Ray goes to another program and actually finds success. I think some people dog the kid acting like, oh, he can't do anything or whatever. That's not the case. Ray, he has talent. But, again, Malachi Tony's just a special player. Right. How can you take that off the field?
Reminds me of Coach Rick when he was an amazing speaker. He is an amazing speaker, and who is with the Parkinson's and everything else he has now. Obviously, he's not the same. But I went to this event when first year he was here, and he gave a speech and he talked about just great comedy and great timing. How when he got to Miami, he was so good. He thought this was going to be amazing, and he's going to come in here. He's going to light it up. And sure enough, in his recruitment class is a guy named Jim Kelly. All right, so then he goes to the NFL. I've got a shot. Denver doesn't have a quarterback. I'm going to be this, and then they draft that year
John Elway.
So he says, you know what? So I decided, maybe this quarterback thing is not for me. I should go to coaching. But the point is, timing is everything, and the talent around you. I mean, look at The Rock, Warren Sapp. I mean, he said, I can't do this anymore. Look at Warren Sapp. I'll never be able to play this position. I'm going to be a wrestler. So it all depends on what the timing is. And unfortunately, Ray, I'd love to see him get an opportunity, but the two guys he's been behind, it's been difficult to get ahead.
Yeah. I like this comment from GOK, and he said the old great Miami teams would blow out the other teams on the field, and the backups would come in, and you can see what you have at backup. We need to start blowing these teams out. I agree. I would like.
I agree, Gio.
Yeah.
Good point.
Giovanni Foster said, we need to build what we have. The transfer portal supports what you don't have. Juan Manuel said, the Cal QB is the QB of Miami's future. Who cares about what a young QB feels? The Cal QB is very talented, but yeah, I mean, a lot of teams are going to try to come after him. And reason being so is he was going to go to Oregon, then changed his mind again and went back to Cal. At the end of the day, the type of talent the California quarterback is, Jerron Q. Sagapolo, several teams are going to go after him, not just Miami. If he does hit the portal, he's going to have a really big market. A lot of teams are going to be interested. But Lorraine stopped by. She said, Darion Coleman is my pick. I believe she means in regards to the future.
Mark that down for Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine. Welcome to the program.
The Maryland and Cincinnati QBs are nice. Actually, funny thing I'll mention to Jorge Blanco. The Cincinnati quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, he trains under the same guy that Cam Ward worked with as well for the last several years. So there is connections there to that aspect.
Who is that quarterback?
That's Brendan Sorsby. He's at Cincinnati. Let's see. Giovanni Kennedy. If the coach is fired, it doesn't matter with the transfer. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of tampering. Yes. Gio and Brett. How much tampering is going on in college football? Everybody tampers. I tamper with my neighbor's mango's tree when he is not home.
I thought he said his neighbor's wife. He said his neighbor's mango. Okay, now I got it.
Here's the thing about the whole tampering stuff in college football. Basically, everyone's doing it, whether they want to admit it or not. But every single team in the country, practically everyone, is doing some form of tampering, whether it's minimal or large. And what I mean by that is there's been this term that's been coined about recruiting in the transfer portal. It's called back channeling. And, whether you're speaking to a kid's handler coming out of high school or his street agent or his, because there is still street agents till this day. It's crazy. Or speaking with the agents or agents putting out feelers even during the season to teams and whatnot. That, oh, this guy is interested in this and that or whatever. All of that comes into play, or former coaches or family members. This is all what goes on. I mean, they don't even have to speak to a kid directly.
How much do the Hurricane starter jackets cost? Hurricane Pope, I can take that one. We've got them. We've got the one. The original one says Miami with Sebastian on the back and New Hurricanes on the side, and that is $159, I believe, and $169 for 3X and above. And then we have a brand new reversible. It's black on one side and white on the other, and that one says Canes on one side and then Hurricanes on the both fronts are either Canes and Hurricanes. They have a big U on the back, and they have a Sebastian on the arm. And we have that. That's a black-white combination or orange-green combination. Those are $179. So you're getting 2 jackets in one. And I have a big feeling we are going to be selling a ton. We always sell a lot, but we really sell them big when usually I'm waiting for the ACC championship game. But this year, Gio, we've got Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech, both cold weather games that are going to be happening. If the Canes are still winning, those jackets and all of our winter gear is going to be going. So thank you for the question, Hurricane Pope. Starter jackets will be very popular very soon as Canes are going north. But they're awesome. So just check out CanesWear.com, the starter jackets. You can see them. And we've got the biggest selection and all of the unique ones that are exclusive to us.
Yeah. Rock and Rant shared here. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan. Being a fan of a quarterback comes second to that. Absolutely. I think in the NIL and transfer portal era, you can't fall in love with players. Fall in love with your program because players will come and go.
Root for the jersey.
Gio Kane said here, Ohio State won the national championship. Now their fans are a little more patient with them so they can play their homegrown quarterback now, and he's winning also. Yeah.
Good point. But trust me, if they lose this year, they're going to be hating everybody again. Every year is a new year. They need to win every year. So,
Rock and Rant said here, I think it is interesting that Mario specifically in the press conference talked about Braum being such a great player, which I took meaning Mario's sick about hearing it, would love to make a statement. Yeah, I'll be honest, Mario. I call it PC comments, and what I mean by that is no reason to give ammunition to another team. Respectful, say your piece, what you think about them. Don't give material for the opposing locker room at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Juan Manuel said, don't argue with success. You want to stick with a TVD or a Garcia for 3 years. Yeah, it could be very different.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary. Lorraine said, so much opportunity for us in our rented stadium.
FSU lost to another team in the rented stadium, didn't they, just recently? Well, so
they lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Miami, and USF have rented stadiums. I think USF took out the Gators.
One Manuel said, could Florida force DJ Lagway to hit the portal? He is associated with G5 Billy. I don't know. It's still too early to say. I do know there are some star players on the Florida roster that did put out some feelers after their USF game through their agents about looking around at other schools already. So things are in motion over there in Gainesville. Let's see, Cincinnati QB. Yeah, I spoke about him. Jorge Blanco said, plus Ohio State's offense is anemic. Yeah, they haven't been too great on offense this year, but I think their defense is legit. Gio Kane said, I'm wearing green. Laugh out loud. Tired of wearing my orange.
Yes, exactly. And like I say, Mario would stick with it. Yes, by the way, Juan, man, I am superstitious, but not as big as I was before. I will admit that. I'm wearing a different shirt to the games now. I did wear a different shirt to the away game, watching it than I did to the home game. So I didn't want to take the mojo off of the home shirt I wore.
I'll tell you this, Brett. I think Michael Irvin is more superstitious than you or me have ever been, because last year was that specific shirt. Yeah, I know everyone probably remembers it. This year, it's the Green Tree Made Me shirt. Every game that he is at, it's the Green Tree Made Me shirt. Every single game. I absolutely believe Michael Irvin is more superstitious than anyone else.
I'm sure you are correct, yes.
Lord Bakington is here. Hear ye, hear ye.
All right, Lord Bakington, welcome to the show. The third, of course.
Yes. Juan Manuel said Lamar Thomas is the GOAT.
Excellent.
Touchdown god of the OB.
And Lamar is not only the GOAT, he is an unbelievable human being, a great person. Pleasure to know him, see him in the store, and I'm so glad he jumped on our podcast. Great person and great person to talk to. 100% correct, Juan Manuel.
There's comments here about John Mateer. Yes, he followed his OC to Oklahoma like a dummy. Arch Manning. Danny Cannell has Carson Beck envy. His arm is bigger than Danny Cannell. All right, so we got some score predictions here near the end of the comments. Mike Jeezy said, Miami 41, Louisville 17. Let's ball.
I like it.
I had Miami winning the ACC and national championship over the summer. The difference in Miami is blowing out teams now, and back then there were no legal sports gambling back then like it
100%
is now.
correct. I've got Miami several times to win it all. People say, why? You're going to be happy anyway. I said, I know, just for the fun of it. And the money would be nice too.
Hassan asked here, Gio, you said Florida players have put out feelers through their agents to other schools. Are some of them to Miami? Not specifically Miami, but they've just in general that they're likely hitting the portal. There's a running back, there's a defensive back as well, and a receiver. Not the receiver everyone's thinking of if everyone's thinking Dallas Wilson, but we got a Louisville fan right here.
I know.
Right at the end of the show.
Antipas is coming. Louisville is going to beat the bleep out of Miami. Louisville 38, Miami 24. Listen, wow. That's a good answer. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I'll tell you this, Brett. I think he's the first Louisville fan I've seen all week even say anything about the game.
Wow.
I mean, because I've been on social media, I've done a couple shows already this week, and I haven't seen any Louisville fans around. I mean, there was plenty of Florida State fans before the Florida State game, and they didn't show up.
No, they didn't come back. They didn't come back. The Notre Dame fan was going to come back and talk to us a little bit also, but they were a little different. But you're 100% correct. The Florida State fans, they were the show. They brought it. That show was about Florida State-Miami rivalry, where this show was about portal quarterback or no portal quarterback. Now, how did Antipas fall? Is it Antipas? Antipasta, probably, right?
Possibly Antipasta, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how he found this. All right.
He said, let's go. I actually respect the rivalry, though.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear. Now, it's funny because Lamar Thomas was the coach at Lamar Thomas was the coach at
Louisville at one point,
and he recruited who was the quarterback again?
Lamar Jackson.
Yes, So he recruited Lamar, and that was obviously a great recruit. He had some good years there. So it's I'm sure he's rooting for the Canes though.
He said, I'm not just talking trash. Louisville and Miami is like Jacob and Esau.
Okay. First Jacob and Esau reference.
Let's see here. Any other comments that
I think wow, we got
that's about it tonight.
Well, all right. Well, Gio, you've been on you've been on multiple things. I would have liked to make Canes Jones's Twitter, but I was his spaces, but I was working. I signed on for about a minute or two, and then everybody was talking. Who do you like in the Alabama game? Who do you like in this game? That was kind of cool. So I was happy to be there for the couple of minutes I was there. But you were on there. You were on Michael Yo, and then you were on the CanesWear podcast.
Yes.
Did you wake up, eat breakfast, and were you in a pod? Are you just all day long you're going, which is fantastic.
Yep.
It's a long day for Gio. So thankful to have you here. Where can we find you, Gio? Besides today's prediction.
Everyone could find me on X at Gio Million. You could also see it on your screen if you're watching right now, unless you're listening by audio. And Comics on Canes with Michael Yo. I'm on there every week. Right here on the CanesWear podcast every single week with Brett. Sometimes Mando on here as well. 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Make sure to shop at CanesWear, Miami Fanwear, the place where all South Florida sports fans shop. Miami Hurricanes gear, Dolphins gear, Panthers gear. Panther season is going on right now. Hopefully we get back to back. Would absolutely love that for the Panthers in South Florida. Marlins gear as well, Inter Miami, everything you could possibly think of in terms of South Florida sports. It's all there inside of CanesWear in Davie, Florida. And also, we'll be back on with Who Wants Smoke with Amon Richards on Saturday. We're planning to do something sometime Saturday, probably be in the morning on Saturday. So after Louisville game and whatever the fallout is there, however Miami handles this game tomorrow. But yeah, and sometimes on WQAM as well, 560 WQAM. You can also find them on the FM radio now too, 104.3.
Awesome to hear. Before I get to my thing, Anapas did make a good point. Louisville, Miami linked together for life. Not only Lamar Thomas, but also Howard Schnellenberger was obviously a big component there for Louisville. And guys, obviously you can see me at CanesWear on X, at Canes_wear on Instagram. Remember, we're open tomorrow 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's going to be crazy there and exciting to come in, take some video, say hello when you get there. Also, Saturday, remember, we've got two Canes legends. We got Kenny Calhoun, who made the big play to knock the ball away and us win their first national championship against Nebraska in 1983. And one of my favorite players of all time as well, Benny Blades, 1987 champion, third pick of the draft for the Detroit Lions. Amazing Miami Hurricane, and the only Miami Hurricane player to ever win the Jim Thorpe Award. And we've had a lot of great safeties, so spectacular there. Both of them are fantastic guys. Great. Come on in. You get a ticket, support the cause, $29. You get both autographs. You get to take a picture with both guys. And you can even, if you don't have something to sign, we'll even give you a free picture to have each one of them sign, including the Kenny Calhoun one of the great play he made. So lots of fun stuff. Canes tomorrow for the win. We got Saturday. We got the signing with Kenny and Benny. So exciting times. We're excited to see you guys. Remember, like and subscribe. The FTSN Network. Bobby and the team do a great job. And once again, we had quite a few people watching the show, even though we're late night, right, Gio? Lots of questions. I saw a lot of new faces out there, which is great. And tell all your friends about the podcast. And we're excited to be part of your world.
Definitely. And before we go, I said my score prediction earlier. Brett, what do you have for tomorrow?
I didn't. I think I've gone, 48 something, and every time this will probably be the time it hits. But I think Miami's. I think Miami's obviously going to win this game. So I'm going to go back to the Hurricanes 48. Okay, 48 to. I'm going to go with 3 field goals and a touchdown. 48 to 16.
Okay.
So we're basically going to triple them. 48-16. 74 is the total. All right. So that's Brett's prognostication. The spread is what, like 13 or 14 points?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going on it with Gio's advice here that we're going to be able to sack them all the time. Rob Duke said Bain is going to get 4 sacks. Gio, you said we're going to get up a 7-pack of sacks, right?
Yeah, I think Miami could get 7 sacks.
All right. We're going to run right through them, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm excited. And remember, pack the rock. If you get local, go to the game. I mean, there's plenty of tickets available. You can get tickets for under $20 right now to go to the game, which is very cheap on StubHub or one of the official ticket sites, SeatGeek, wherever. They've all got tickets right now. So come on out. Let's have a good time. Pack the rock and let's go Canes.
Let's go Canes. Everyone take care.
We'll see you soon. Thank you.